I've been a fan of yours for probably 20 years, and I've hit bumps along the way to get my house paid off, and now I'm at a position.
Total starter.
The non-starter is this dysfunctional crap that you're weaving that is your life. That's the non-starter. She paid double what she should have paid for her dentistry degree. Double. She got screwed. So what? I'm sorry. Let's stop just a second. What's the point of your call? How can I help you? And go make $300,000 or $400,000 between the two of you. You can pay this off in maybe 3 years.
Number 5, Chad. Hold on to your hats, folks. We've got Chad, the real estate agent extraordinaire from Augusta, Georgia, dialing up the Ramsey Show. And boy, does he have some mortgage madness on his mind. Chad's all cheerful, greeting the show host amidst groovy background music. The Ramsey Show folks are apparently doing better than they deserve. Cue the humble brags. Chad wastes no time and dives headfirst into his dilemma. He's got a humongous mortgage hanging over his head, folks. It's a real whopper. He loves chasing those deals, but this one's got him sweating. Retirement plans are on the line, and Chad needs that sweet stamp of approval. Now, hold on to your seat cushions, because Chad drops a bomb. He's been a fan of Dave Ramsey for a whopping 20 years. Talk about dedication, folks. He's weathered the bumps and bruises along the way, and now he's ready to bid his mortgage adieu. Cue the dramatic drum roll. With bated breath, Dave asks the million-dollar question, "How much cash do you have, my friend?" Chad takes a deep breath and casually replies with, "211. Holy guacamole, Batman! Dave nearly falls off his chair. Without skipping a beat, he delivers the verdict, "Pay it off today, buddy." No need to think twice, folks. Chad's mortgage is about to meet its doom.
211.
Good Lord, pay it off today.
Pay it off. What are you doing?
I've been a fan of yours for probably 20 years, and I've hit bumps along the way to get my house paid off, and now I'm at a position.
You don't need to think about
Then
this.
do
You knew what I was
somersaults in
going
your
to say.
yard.
But just as we're about to pop the champagne and celebrate Chad's victory, the call abruptly ends. In comes Jacob from Fort Worth, stealing the spotlight from our mortgage-slaying hero. Oh, the timing. Can you believe it, folks? Number 4, Peter. In this episode of The Ramsey Show, Peter, a caller from Chicago, steals the spotlight with his peculiar financial predicament. The host greets Peter, who eagerly responds, setting the stage for the bizarre tale that's about to unfold. Peter begins by explaining that for the last 3 years, he's been shouldering the burden of his parents' mortgage and home equity, thanks to the pandemic. He presents 3 options: continue paying the principal and interest as he's been doing, with his parents covering the property taxes, pay $3,000 a month, or explore other possibilities.
I have been paying for my parents' mortgage and home equity. That's option number 1. Continue what I'm currently doing, paying $3,000 a month with that.
Why are you paying your parents' mortgage?
At the start of the pandemic, my dad had to retire.
Can you afford $3,000? I mean, this is different. Do you make $25,000 a month, and this is no big deal?
Curiosity piqued, the host interrupts, seeking clarification on why Peter is paying his parents' mortgage. Peter explains that his father had to retire at the start of the pandemic, facing ageism in his industry, and his mother is also a teacher. Peter, as the only child, feels indebted to his fantastic parents and is determined to support them. The host, growing increasingly incredulous, questions why Peter's parents can't pay their mortgage. Peter shares that his parents' combined income is around $45,000 a year and they have no savings. The host swiftly suggests that they sell their current house, worth around $700,000, and purchase a more affordable $500,000 property, eliminating their mortgage altogether. However, Peter insists that this is not a viable option and that he was meant to help them temporarily. The host, exasperated, argues that the current situation is unsustainable and urges Peter to reconsider his role in propping up their fantasy world.
Getting a new job, he was really good in his industry, he had experience.
And they have no money.
Total starter.
The non-starter is this dysfunctional crap that you're weaving that is your life. That's the non-starter, who need to get off their butts and take care of themselves. It is not an act of love. This has such a short runway, and it's going to hit the wall, and it's going to disintegrate like NASCAR and twist and make toxic the scripture that says to honor your father and mother.
He warns that emotions and finances will eventually collide like a NASCAR crash, leaving everyone worse off. Number 3, Daniel. In a wild episode of The Ramsey Show, we find ourselves smack in the middle of a call from a man named Daniel. With a foreign, Chicago accent that's as thick as deep dish pizza, Daniel dives right into his debt dilemma. He cheerfully greets host Dave Ramsey, who is oblivious to the impending roller coaster ride. Daniel proudly announces his recent nuptials after a decade-long courtship with his now wife. He spills the beans on her jaw-dropping $750,000 student loan debt, courtesy of a dental degree. Dave, clearly in disbelief, asks about her field of study, and upon hearing the word dentist, his reaction would make even Jesus Murphy exclaim, "Oh dear." Nonetheless, Daniel brushes off the gravity of the situation, casually tossing in his own $40,000 debt as if it were just a pesky fly buzzing around his head. The conversation takes an even more absurd turn as Daniel nonchalantly mentions that his wife is waiting for some mysterious thing before she can start applying for jobs, all while earning a potential salary between $175,000 and $225,000 per year.
Seems like she's going to start off somewhere between $175,000 to $225,000 a year.
She paid double what she should have paid for her dentistry degree. Double. She got screwed. And with that, what a huge mistake this was.
So she's bringing in about $750,000 in student loans.
Good
Other than
Lord.
that,
But you have, in order to run away from a problem, you first have to realize that it's a problem.
Dave's exasperation is palpable. As the reality of the situation dawns on Dave, he tries to shake Daniel out of his oblivious state, delivering a verbal slap to the face. He bluntly declares that they're in a colossal mess and suggests that they face the truth head on. With a touch of sarcasm, Dave points out that their dream school was nothing more than a money pit, and they've been royally screwed. In a final burst of hilarity,
Degree, what do you should go with $750,000 in debt for? So if you will live like you're absolute poor people,
she's waiting for some sort of thing that she needs before she can start applying. It's pretty much is like her credentials.
and go make $300,000 or $400,000 between the two of you, you can pay this off in maybe 3 years.
Dentist.
Oh, Jesus, Murphy.
I mean, she's going to make good money, but it's just I can't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Dave offers a solution. Live like paupers, earn a whopping $300,000 to $400,000 annually, and pay off the debt within 3 years. Otherwise, they can follow the norm of the perpetually indebted dentist. Number 2, Chris. In the realm of financial talk shows, where money advice reigns supreme, a lively character named Chris, hailing from sunny Los Angeles, rang up the famous Ramsey Show.
90% of them became wealthy without inheritance. The inheritance did not cause their wealth. Invented a wonderful thing with the index fund, and the S&P 500 funds are wonderful. The index funds are wonderful. So what? I'm sorry. Let's stop just a second. What's the point of your call? How can I help you?
Bursting onto the airwaves, Chris unleashed a unique blend of compliments and insults, declaring Dave Ramsey both stupid and arrogant. But he wasn't finished yet. Oh no, he decided to toss a verbal grenade into the mix, challenging Dave with a question that would make any financial guru's heart skip a beat. Are you smarter than Warren Buffett? With a mix of bewilderment and amusement, Dave attempted to navigate this tumultuous conversation. He graciously inquired about the purpose of Chris's call, only to be met with a barrage of critiques regarding his fondness for actively managed funds. Undeterred, Dave valiantly defended his position, pointing out the compounding costs associated with index funds. Back and forth they went, each armed with their own arsenal of facts and opinions. Undeniably, the highlight came when Dave mentioned a study of millionaires, revealing that a whopping 90% of them amassed their wealth through actively managed funds in their 401k. Chris, however, persisted, highlighting Warren Buffett's preference for index funds. To this, Dave cunningly retorted that while Buffett may preach index funds, he himself dabbled in the realm of actively managed funds through Berkshire Hathaway. As the call drew to a close, one thing was certain:
you've done some great work, and in some ways I love you. In other ways, you're stupid and arrogant. If you pushed people into an index fund, they would have about 50% more money when they retire.
Actively managed funds that I personally have picked have outperformed the indexes by more than 2%.
Chris and Dave had engaged in a financial duel of epic proportions. It was a clash of philosophies, a symphony of banter. And so, the stage was set for the next episode of Money Showdown, Index Funds versus Actively Managed Funds. Who would emerge victorious? Only time would tell. Number 1, Chelsea. Chelsea called in to the Dave Ramsey Show with an aha moment about starting a home organizing business. She thought she needed to get licensed and take classes.
Probably ought to do some more research than that.
I found that I want to start a business organizing homes, but I'm going to have to put some money into it, which is it's not going to be any more than $5,000.
You will be able to do it well.
But Dave quickly told her that she didn't need to do any of that. He said she could just watch some YouTube videos and start organizing people's homes. Chelsea was also worried about how much to charge, but Dave told her to just start by charging $10 per room. He said she could always raise her prices later if she was successful. Dave also told Chelsea to look at what other home organizers in her area were charging. He said she could use their pricing as a starting point, or she could come up with her own unique pricing model. Chelsea was a little overwhelmed by all of this information, but Dave assured her that she could do it. He said all she needed to do was start organizing people's homes and see what happened. Chelsea ended the call by thanking Dave for his help. She said she was feeling much more confident about starting her home organizing business. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.
You pulled. Oh, y'all, if I could just close my eyes, I could keep talking. Can do all of that with some simple Google searches. Whoa, it does not take $5,000 to start a home organizing business.
I was thinking probably like 100 to 200 per room.
You've built this up to be way bigger than it is. Just go do some work and make some money. You will have become the most educated organizer on the planet.